I want to thank my very good friend, Mary Landrieu, for everything that she has done for our country, for her state, for her tenacity, and for her willingness to shepherd this through at a very critical time. We talked yesterday on the floor about how important it is to send the right messages to the American public. And a lot of people will say, well, they picked this agenda or this agenda. They just want us to start working together. And they don't want us to turn on the television and watch C-SPAN or watch and say, there they are in the sandbox again. You know, fighting about things that don't matter to the American public. You know, picking fights with each other, bad-mouthing each other, as opposed to working together. And it's a little tough right now, because I think that if we are going to set the tone today, or yesterday, today, and in the days that follow during this lame duck, the tone that will establish the relationships and the courtesies that we are going to have going forward in the next Congress, we need to make sure that we're communicating when the tone goes a little wrong. And to me, I have fought this issue. I have been in favor of the Keystone Pipeline ever since I looked, and I'm somewhat famously likened it to caring about a reality TV show that has nothing to do with people's lives, and wondering why we care so much about Keystone, because it really doesn't have a whole lot to do with carbon. It doesn't. Keystone Pipeline is about transportation of oil. That oil is going to get transported, it's going to get produced, and it's going to move. It's going to move on rail, or it's going to move on pipe, someplace. And when you look at all of the study that's been done, environmental studies, every other, you turn it around 100 different ways, you come to the same conclusion, that the Keystone Pipeline makes an incredible amount of sense. It is a jobs-ready project, shovel-ready project, with good trade union jobs. That's something you don't see every day in America. New things coming. It'll help us transport 100,000 barrels of our oil. Now that's less than 10% of what we produce every day. But it will take, as my senior senator said, a lot of unit trains off the rails so we can move grain. And it will be state-of-the-art in terms of the quality of the pipeline. I've seen the pipeline, I've seen the oil sands, I've been there. We are headed for North American energy independence if we don't get in our own way. So Keystone has taken a role larger than life. And it has been this hot-button issue that really doesn't belong in this debate. It should have been approved, in my opinion, years ago. Absolutely years ago. It has taken us longer to analyze Keystone than what it has taken us to beat Hitler. By far, almost 50% more time spent analyzing the Keystone Pipeline. The people of the United States are tired of this issue. They are tired of our gridlock, and they are tired of the partisan bickering back and forth. And so I would ask, as a way to move forward on a lot of very difficult energy issues that we're going to have here, whether it's what I believe we need to begin to lower the barriers and eliminate the barriers for exportation of crude oil. It's been something I've talked about a lot. I believe that we need to export and to facilitate the exportation of natural gas. I believe that we need to do everything that we can to continue to develop our renewables. I believe we should have a renewable fuel standard that encourages the development of renewable fuels. I believe a lot of things on energy. And frequently we hear in this body, we're all of the above, and then people start talking, and you know they're not. They are not all of the above. They're polarizing this issue. And at the heart of it, and as I said yesterday, one of the reasons why the United States of America has not experienced an economic downturn or a slowdown that you see globally is because of this energy renaissance. And this is what the American public has sent us to do, to set public policy, but more importantly, to get out of the way of private intervention, of private invention and entrepreneurship. And so I would just respectfully, very respectfully ask that when our colleagues from the other side come to the floor, think about how we can use language that brings us together, that doesn't tell the American public, there they go again. And, you know, here we are again in the sandbox, trying to figure out who's going to get credit. You know what? We all get credit. When this place works, we'll all get credit. And more importantly, when this place works, the American public will have their faith in their government restored. And so let's be very careful with language. Let's recognize everyone for the commitment that they've made and that the leadership they've provided. And I have said many times in my home state, Senator Hoeven has led this effort. He talks about it. He has been a champion for the Keystone Pipeline. I hope that I've been a champion, but I certainly have not done the time that he has done on this issue. And so Senator Hoeven deserves an incredible amount of credit. But equally, Mary Landrieu deserves an incredible amount of credit for moving this issue right at this point in time and moving this issue forward. And we who are working on this side to gather the number of votes that we know we're going to need to pass this, that's not easy work. Trust me, that is not easy work, but we're making tremendous progress. We're making tremendous progress. Now, what happens next week? We hope we pass it. And we'll cross the bridge of a presidential veto when we come to it, and if we come to it. But let's not presuppose what people are going to do, and let's not stand here at a time when the American public wants to see us all come together. Let's not stand here and worry about who gets credit. Let's not stand here and, call out people for what you consider past wrongs. Let's move forward on behalf of the American people. And I just wanted to personally say thank you, Senator Landrieu, for your leadership, for your tenacity. And if I can just add one point, and I will say this because I was with you every step of the way on flood insurance. Flood insurance would not have happened without Mary Landrieu. Were there great support on the other side? You bet. Great bipartisan effort. But she sounded the alarm before anyone knew we were going to have this problem and had already built that groundwork. And so, I'm sure there's lots of things that her opponents and her detractors could say about the positions that she's taken over the years. Be honest about it. She's been a leader on Keystone. She's been a leader on oil and gas. She's been a leader on flood insurance. She's been the tenacious voice for all of those issues. And she has, in her heart, the best interests not just of the people of this country, but particularly the great people of the great state of Louisiana. And so thank you, Mary, for everything that you do, and I yield the floor.